however, rotates around the sun. The sun rotates around its own axis. So it is actually quite correct, is saying. And of course, the Earth is in orbit around the sun. And also, by the way, the sun is also in orbit. But it is in orbit round the center of the galaxy. In fact, it is believed that ultimately, if the sun keeps going in its orbit, it would ultimately end in what is known as the solar apex, a sort of position that it will end up in the center of the galaxy. So what we find here is that the Quran is talking about things that no one could really know this information 1,400 years ago. It is scientifically accurate. The idea of the alternation of the night and the day and of the spherical nature of the earth is actually implied in the 31st surah and the 29th ayah of the Quran. Have you not seen how Allah merges the night into the day and the day into the night? And in another verse, the 39th chapter, in the 5th ayah or the 5th verse, the Quran mentions He coils the night upon the day and He coils the day upon the night. And this word that is used in the Quran in the original Arabic is kawarra. Kawarra, in its original meaning, means the action of coiling a turban around your head. Coiling a turban. So it describes kawarra, how the night and the day coils one round the other. And you can find that description of the interpenetration of one sector by another is expressed in the Quran just as if the concept of the earth's roundness had already been conceived at the time, which is, except for a few, there were a few philosophers who had theorized that the earth was round, but it was not really a generally accepted idea. But it is something that is implied in the Quran, and certainly we can gather this today from our present day knowledge. It's a very another interesting aspect that in one place in the Quran, the word that is used to describe the shape of the earth is the same word that is used to describe the egg of the ostrich. Now, looking at this globe, for example, you may imagine that the earth is completely spherical. But in reality, that is not the case. The earth is slightly misshaped. It is not a perfect sphere, and in fact, slightly elongated, rather like an ostrich egg. So it is incredible also that the Quran is describing that shape of the earth. At least this is a possible interpretation of those verses. Certainly we can say that none of these things actually contradict present modern scientific knowledge. In fact, if you think about it, if we were only to bring a book 1,400 years old and you were to find absolutely no contradictions, and I don't mean here to say that the Quran affirms anything. Let's say it doesn't affirm any scientific knowledge. Let's say it didn't even preempt any scientific knowledge. Let's say there was nothing special in the Quran, which of course is not the case because I've spent a couple of episodes showing you exactly how amazing the Quran is when it talks about aspects of the universe and the world in which we live. But let's just say those things were not there. Let's just say there was nothing that contradicted present day knowledge. That itself alone would be remarkable, because the superstitions and the beliefs that people have